Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, for the first time in a long time, I can officially say that Donald Trump has done something that is really, really good. Something that the people are a huge fan of, and that is he has changed the H1-B visa system. He has signed a presidential proclamation that raises the fee, the annual fee of H1-B visa holders to $100,000. So, if a company wants to keep their H1-B visa employee, they have to pay $100,000 every year. And they can be here 6 years. So this is going to completely decimate the H1B system. He nuked it from orbit. And of course, the majority of people affected by this are Indians, and they are furious because Indians hold between 71 and 72% of the H1Bs. I have a graph here that shows that. Chinese, about 11%, and then everybody else in the world, a tiny fraction. So the Indians are furious because they've been coming and stealing American jobs for the longest time, not only here, but in other countries. And now Trump finally says, okay, enough. We're going to give Americans their jobs back. And this is a great change compared to his policies before, because like a year ago, he was talking about extending the H-1B system, like broadening it, bringing in more people, stapling green cards to diplomas, this whole like massive push for legal immigration. And the people were revolted by it, voiced their opinions. And then Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy had the biggest crash out I've ever seen, where they called Americans lazy and stupid. And Americans, very prideful people, they're willing to put up with a lot of abuse, but you insult that American pride and you're going to get a rude awakening. And that's what happened. They got ratioed into oblivion. Vivek probably got let go from his position because of that. It was so toxic. Calling Americans stupid is not a great idea. And so Americans have been this entire year railing against the H-1B system. They've been doing everything possible to get rid of them as much as possible, applying for the jobs that the companies are secretly hiding away, because if Americans apply for them, the H-1Bs can't actually get them. But, the companies were posting them in like the Mumbai Times. We posted in a newspaper in India and no Americans applied. It's crazy. We have to hire Indians. You saw jobs like 7-Eleven, people doing deep dives on all the H-1Bs. It's like 7-Eleven was looking for H-1B workers. You're telling me in a country of 330 million people, there's not a single American qualified to work at 7-Eleven? It's like, get real. So Americans were furious at this. And finally, Trump listens to the people and actually follows through and says that, okay, we're going to give Americans their jobs back. He's not limiting the program. He's not, totally getting rid of it. If some company has just a rock star, someone who's amazing, a literal genius, and they're willing to pay for that person to be here, $100,000 a year, yeah, go ahead and keep them. If you're Apple or Google or somebody who really needs like these 5 employees, they're actually geniuses. It's not just scab workers we're bringing in from India to undercut the wages of Americans. That's fine. Nobody's saying that you can't keep the couple dozen that are actually really doing their jobs effectively. It's just when you're talking about hundreds and thousands, literally, if you look at the chart I had earlier, hundreds and thousands of Indians specifically coming over and taking American jobs. And Americans have massive unemployment right now, especially in the tech sector. Remember, they told everybody just learn to code and you'll get a job, and then they immediately replace all the jobs with Indians? Yeah, so people are upset, but this is an awesome, awesome victory for Americans. This goes to prove that I've said before, Trump is chronically online like the rest of us, and there is a breaking point where he has to capitulate. He has to give, because Trump really does care about his ego over pretty much anything. And he has been ripped apart by his base recently, particularly for the whole Epstein debacle, which still hasn't gone away, and the fact that he looks like he bows down to Bibi Netanyahu and gives him whatever he wants whenever he asks. Those two things make Trump look like a complete failure of a president. And he's been getting ripped apart for those. Any small victories he's trying to like wedge in there, people don't really care. They're not big enough. They're not important enough. This is a big thing. This is finally a big thing that seems like he capitulated to the American people, realized their frustration and their complaint with not getting jobs in their own country after being called lazy and stupid. And so now he's doing something about it. And it's hard to disagree with this. What could you possibly say about this? You see Indians complaining online that, oh, well, startups are going to lose global talent. Startups don't need global talent. There's plenty of talent in the United States. We're one of the biggest countries in the world by population. You're telling me in the entire country, you can't incentivize anyone to come work for you who is smart enough and qualified enough? They're out there. Most of them are unemployed right now. Go find them. Incentivize them to work for you. But they don't do that. The companies clearly don't want American workers because American workers are, they demand higher pay. They demand better working conditions. And you can't just scab out the jobs. So this is a great win for Americans. I want to see more things like this. I want Trump to actually listen to his base and do things that they care about. And you saw the numbers this past week maybe about the economy, and most people don't feel like the economy under Trump is really that much better. It's because he hadn't done anything like this yet. The housing's still ridiculous. There's still not enough jobs. Start doing things like this, eliminate income tax, stop companies from buying up all the houses and renting them out, and then, get rid of all the foreign workers, illegal and legal. Boom, economy fixed. This is not rocket science, and this is one step in the right direction to that end goal of actually getting Americans and putting them first. There's a saying, America first. What that actually means is putting Americans first, not just random people around the world who want to come over and scab for jobs, who have no loyalty to the country, who weren't born here and raised here, who were told to go to college to get these certifications and that companies would hire them, and then they end up jobless while their jobs are scabbed out overseas. And people are saying, oh, the companies will move overseas. They won't with the tariffs. And if they do, Trump can just say, yeah, we're not going to use your products. We're not going to allow your products in the United States if you do that. So there's a lot of economic power he has to wield, and he should wield it for the good of the American people, not for America's GDP. That seems to be the changes happening is, the wealth disparity is not reflected in GDP, but actually helping Americans, that's something different, and that seems to be the direction he's moving. So that's my thoughts on this. You made it all the way through the video. I appreciate it. If you like the content, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and thank you for watching.